listening to the Jca Sports podcast on Spotify and Anchor. To the Jca Sports.
Wow, that was quick.
Yes, it was.
Hey, what's up, guys? The Jca Sports podcast here on Facebook Live. We're here live, Jose and I. As you can see, my big fat ass and Jose right next to me too, covering it all. John unfortunately won't be here with us today, but it's all good. We got it covered. He'll be joining us in the chat as Eric Avila, Jose Contreras.
Did you say covering it all?
Did I?
Covering what? This is 100% pure sexiness, man.
I mean, I got, you can see my little titties on here, so you know, whatever it is, what it is. But the
Voluptuous.
JCA, the JCA Sports podcast here, coming to you guys live. We're live here at the Illinois Media School. Jose Contreras, Eric Avila, myself here, guys, and we got a lot to talk about today, Jose.
Yes, we do. We're talking basketball bonanza, guys. We're going to talk about UNC versus Duke over the weekend. UNC against Kansas is going on right now as we speak for the national championship game. We're going to get into some NBA playoffs coming up. Me and Eric will go on into our predictions as to what's going to happen. And then we can even talk a little bit of Bears since the OTA started today as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did start today.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
we speak for the
So
national championship.
the Bears are. It's going to be a good show for you guys. That's for sure. Make sure you guys join us too. Ooh, did I copy the thing? Make sure you guys join us on the StreamYard app as well as the comment section too as well. I'm gonna put it right here on the chat so you guys could join us, talk to us, and let's talk a little bit of sports as we are live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. What else am I missing, Jose?
YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. We are on Facebook Live currently, and then of course this podcast will be broadcasted on Spotify and on Anchor. Last Thursday's episode just posted today. It was a baseball frenzy.
Oh yeah.
Of course with Eric, John, and the two special guests, Tony and Aya and Nick. So make sure you guys listen to that one. It was a great episode for sure. But yeah, that's Spotify, Anchor apps where you want to catch us at. The Sports Drip Live podcast with my older brother will be happening this week. We'll get into some WrestleMania and MMA, of course, UFC, Bellator. And of course, Eric, the AFP podcast coming up Wednesday or what?
Yeah, we got Wednesday Champions League. That's all we got to talk about.
Ooh, Champions
That's
League.
all
What happened to
right.
Arsenal?
We're gonna talk about that right now. Not today, at least. Not today.
Come on, man.
It was an uninspiring matchup today. So
It really was.
But yeah, let's talk about basketball bonanza. You can talk about Coach K's last game was on what was it, Saturday?
Yeah,
It was not the storybook ending that we all thought it was gonna be. I know
Nope.
I know I lost $40 on Duke winning the national championship, but we don't talk about that either as well. But I just want to get your take on it. Did the better team won on Saturday, Jose?
Yeah, the better team won. Absolutely, the better team won. But you're absolutely right. There wasn't no storybook ending, and you know what? And that it would have. How poetic would it have been, right? The fact that Duke lost to this team, to this North Carolina team at home at Duke's. At Coach K's last game at Duke, they spoiled that. You seen the afterwards. He came out saying it was a disappointment. It shouldn't have happened. The players, they had their head down. So this was their opportunity, Eric.
Yeah.
This was the players to redeem themselves. Fate had it where they faced the same exact team literally in the Final Four.
Yeah, they really did. And the fact of the matter was that it just felt free throws, right? I think that was the key. That was the key components of the game. Free throws. They were 12 for 20. So obviously you can miss maybe 2-3 free throws, but when you miss 8, that's 8 potential points. That's 8 points that you miss on the board right there as well. And also on top of that too, Jose, it was one of those close games too as well. Like free throws was a major thing. It was a good game. Don't get me wrong. Right. It was a good game back and forth. I am a little upset that Duke did lose on Saturday, but now we got the NCAA championship today, man, and it should have been Coach K. It should have been him there against Bill Self. It should have been, but it wasn't.
It wasn't. It wasn't at all. And credit to North Carolina, they did it not once but twice this year. Whether regardless of whether they lose or win today, they literally get to say they retired Coach K.
Yeah, they did. It's crazy too that you said that because I think I saw a stat today to talk about Coach K's first loss or first game was against UNC.
Yep.
And he lost. Last game against UNC.
Yep.
And he lost. So
twice.
If
in
twice,
two games that mattered,
games,
Eric.
Right. In 2 games that mattered. And it's crazy, man. It's one of those although we say storybook ending, but also at the same time it's one of those what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of like a storybook in itself that he started with the loss against UNC and then he ended up.
It all comes full circle.
There you go.
It all comes full circle at the end, like as it always does. And that's just, I guess you could say that was his kryptonite at the end, man. You know what? Look, he's gonna go down as the greatest one. I guess you could say the greatest coach in college basketball for sure. I mean, you may, and some can even say in just basketball all around of all time. He's definitely a GOAT, if not the GOAT. And you know, look, this year's loss, this year's both losses against North Carolina doesn't diminish his career.
No, it doesn't.
You know, it doesn't diminish. So he can go out, you know, with his head held high. It's the players on the other hand that they're gonna carry the disappointment for I guess basically the rest of their lives, because I know I would.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it started, and you could kind of sense the pressure too a little bit, especially the last game of the season with Coach K and the UNC game, and how all the players, I think he had over 100 players at that game too as well. And we just saw him we just seen how important it was, and for them to disappoint not once but twice against UNC, their biggest rival, is just it's just crushing. It's crushing for sure.
Yeah.
If you're a Duke fan. So Jca Sports podcast here, guys. We're just gonna keep you guys give you guys a quick live update if you're watching us and not the game, which you should. 38-23 though, so it's not that bad so far. North Carolina is up on number 1.
They're up big. I thought it was gonna be a much closer game. If not, I thought Kansas would be the one who'd be up that amount of points. So this is showing you, look, North Carolina. This wasn't a fluke.
No, it really wasn't.
You know, they weren't a fluke. They weren't ranked most of the season. You know, going into that game against Duke, they weren't ranked at all when they beat them with Coach K's last game at home. But you see how those games carried that they carried that momentum for them going into the tourney, and now here they are. They're literally half away,
20 minutes away,
20 minutes away from winning the national championship, man. And that's saying something. That's their head coach's first year as their head coach.
Yeah, so it's crazy. I mean, hey, look, I mean, we're gonna be on throughout the whole entire time as the game is going on and everything, but we'll try to give you guys live updates as much as we can, or unless if you guys are watching both, then hey, kudos to you guys. We're here to entertain you guys. Who'd you had coming into the game though? Like who was your favorite?
Kansas. I thought Kansas was gonna win. Look, as much as I give North Carolina credit for what they did, and what they did was not a small feat. I mean, again, they retired Coach K. Not many people could say that, and they did that. Again, whether they win or lose, that they're gonna get to they get to say that their rival of all time, and they got to say like they retired him. But I thought Kansas was a clear-cut winner. I thought they were gonna come dominate this game, and I'm surprised finding out that they're losing right now.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's still early-ish. Like they're heading into halftime. North Carolina up big. I don't think there's any updates. I'm looking at it on my phone. Even though I have the computer right in front of me. Eric. Come on now.
You have two computers right in front of you. You got 1 and 2.
Exactly. 38-25.
You're literally Iron Man right now, getting one thing from one screen, going to the other. You're over here, you know.
And I'm over here using my phone. Right
come
now.
on, Eric.
Millennial, if you ever want to see one, that's for sure. But still keeping up with basketball now. Let's go back. Let's go to the pros and playoff times. The Bulls can clinch I think it's the 5th seed or the 6th seed, avoid the play-in game if they win just 1 out of the remaining 4 games. And the last game out, man, they haven't been looking good lately, man. I don't think injuries is a big thing now.
No,
I think we finally realized, or we finally seeing that this Bulls team has a cap.
Yep.
And they hit this cap.
Yep.
And even with the Lonzo Ball coming back, I don't think they're gonna be that surprising dark horse that we once thought that they were going to be in the beginning of the year when the season first started.
It doesn't look that way. Doesn't say it can't happen. Look, crazy things have happened, especially in the playoffs. You said it. You said it before yourself. Once you're in the playoffs, anything can happen, right?
Right.
I don't think anybody. I mean, I know you mentioned years. It was like 2-3 years ago when Miami Heat went to the finals. You said they were the dark horse coming in, right? The Bulls don't have that same hype. They don't have that same momentum going into the playoffs. That doesn't mean it doesn't change within these next 4 games. Now, I know that's asking a lot, especially from a team who's been struggling for the last month or two since a little bit before the All-Star game. They, after having a hot streak, so it may be asking too much of them, but they still have enough talent in my eyes, Eric, to compete and to at least make the games interesting.
Yeah.
It's all about matchups. Miami swept them this year. You don't want to see Miami in the playoffs. Philadelphia swept them this year. You don't want to see Philadelphia, and you do not want to see Milwaukee, the defending champions, and who I think should be the MVP in Giannis, right? You don't want to see those guys. You don't want to see those teams at all. Everyone's hopping on this Boston hype training for good reason because of the way they've been playing as of late. I'm still not a believer in them. I think they just caught lightning in a bottle. I could see them struggling a little bit in the playoffs, and I think if anybody, at least in the top 4 right now, Boston is the one you want to face if you're the Bulls, and that's saying something because aren't they number 1 or the 2?
Boston's number 2.
They're number 2. They dropped to number 2. I again, if you're the Bulls, you want to play the Boston Celtics again because you don't want to play the other 3 teams that I mentioned because those 3 teams prove that they're just too much for you.
But even then, falling against the Boston Celtics, right? The Bulls have to fall into the play-in game and at least win the very first play-in game.
That's if the Boston secures the number 2 spot.
That's if they secure the number 2 spot. Even at number 3, they have to at least be at number 6. The only reason why I say win 1 game because it at least solidifies them inside the top 6. That's for sure. But if you want to face Boston and Boston falls to number 3, hell, even number 4, because they're only half game up of both Milwaukee and Philadelphia 76ers.
Right.
Even being at the 5 spot, you just have to have a lot of luck going into them. Even then, so I still don't believe that the Bulls have enough to even beat any of the teams that we just said. Even with the Boston Celtics who are hot. I don't think they're not good enough in my eyes to beat Miami. It's proven so far this season. Good enough to beat Milwaukee. It's proven enough this season. Proven this season too as well. They beat 76ers. It's proven this season. Boston Celtics, they have a shot. You're right. It's probably be the only matchup. But again, you say lightning in a bottle. I think they figured themselves out throughout the whole entire season who Boston Celtics really were. And right now, that's the one team that I don't want to face. The Boston Celtics.
They're literally the polar opposite of the Bulls.
They really are.
They're literally the polar but that's what I'm saying. Like we had like so much hype on the Bulls, and we thought the Bulls were going to come out and potentially win a championship this year. And then it just shifted. It was a paradigm shift between the 2 teams, and the Celtics and they look legit. Yeah. But that's the thing. I'm not going to sit here and just jump on whatever's going on. Like I get it. Momentum is crazy strong when it comes to the playoffs. You need that momentum. You need that camaraderie, I can't even say the word. The chemistry. How about that? We'll just say chemistry. You need the chemistry because I can't say camaraderie. Okay, there you go.
You said it.
I just said it. Okay. English was only my primary language growing up. But anyways,
wow.
Yeah, no, right. But the fact that the Celtics have that right now, and like as you said, like they're starting to show their identity going into the playoffs, which is very good. It's what you want when you're an NBA team like that. I still think that between the top 4 teams that we mentioned, they're the weakest, and I'm saying that because you look at what Milwaukee has done. They are the defending champions, and they have a crazy great player in Giannis. Chris Middleton is showing you that he can still be what he was last year. The Philadelphia 76ers, in my eyes, only got better. Embiid is an MVP this year.
For sure.
James Harden is no scrub. Although I get it in the playoffs, he's not as good as he is in the regular season. I think it's going to be different this time around. And then if you look at the Miami Heat, they were in the finals only a couple years ago. They still have a great team, a solid team, a deep team. And between the 4 of them, I put Celtics in the bottom, man.
But that's still a top 4 that's kind of scary in
Hell
itself,
yeah.
anyways. Regardless, even if you put them as the weakest of the best or the least, however you want to say it, it's still a team that you still don't want to face. I don't want to face them at all. I honestly
we got to face them, man.
Any of those 4.
If you want to win a championship, you got to get through these teams,
right? And obviously they're going to eliminate themselves, but I don't give the Bulls a good shot at all, even getting out of the first round. Period. I think I'm happy where they're at. I'm satisfied. I did say just a winning record in playoffs. I'm getting that. That's my expectations, and my expectations are going to be checked.
See that, but that was your expectations before this season even started, Eric. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, I get, and I was right there with you. You and I were both like, hey, look, we just want this team to be relevant again. We want them to make the playoffs. We want them to just, show us that they have something going forward, because we went how many years with them just being in the bottom of the barrel, right?
Yeah,
a lot of years. With Lagar Foreman and John Paxson regime was just horrific.
Just killed us.
Yeah, they did. So like now that we got Carson Novas and Eversley, you started to see their plan unfold, and it looks like a great plan. Like I said, this season starting off was great. We all thought, hey, like maybe they could do more than what was expected. Now they started falling. They fell down. You know, they're now they started seeing like this is what they're the kind of team that they are. But at the same time, the expectations were still there. You know, maybe again, like throughout the season, you still seen what this team can do when they're firing on all cylinders. And that, look, I don't know what happened. Maybe teams figured them out. Maybe they just got tired. Maybe injuries really did started to hurt them. We could say all this, right? But at the same time, they should still be able to reciprocate that same lightning in a bottle that they had in the beginning of the season. They should be able to.
They should be able to. You're absolutely right. They should. If you guys are listening to the Jca Sports podcast here on Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, guys, make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snap. No,
he said Snap. Hey, we'll make a Snapchat. Might as well.
All our social media platforms. As we go into the comment section here, Deontay says the Bulls can compete with the Celtics without ball being at least 80%. They won't beat anyone.
So I think Deontay agrees with what I'm saying. Like, again, we're not saying the Celtics are scrubs. We're not saying that we're not. No. We're not saying that What I'm saying is, between the four teams, although right now they seem like they have the hot hand, they weren't consistent enough all season, I believe, to have that same, I guess, respect than the other three teams do, as in Miami, Philadelphia, and the Bucks. That's pretty much all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like Jason Tatum's going off. Don't get me wrong, but you take Jason Tatum off, or if you're able to contain him, then you're looking elsewhere for those same exact points and that same exact productivity, and you're not going to get that. But you would get that in these other teams that we mentioned. So it's like, it's tough, but I'm sticking with what I'm saying. I think if the Bulls want to make it out the first round, and I think you and I both agree that they won't, but if they want, they need to face a team like the Boston Celtics.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're right. Even then, so I was hoping something a little bit more than that. But yeah, having the Boston Celtics, like, if we're going by your logic, yeah, it's a team. I didn't think they have no team to compete with. I honestly think we just saw the best of the Bulls in the beginning of the season. We saw the best of DeMar DeRozan. When healthy, this team could be really, really great, right? Now that we're at where we're at today, I honestly don't believe that the Bulls are good enough to beat any other teams, even if they do reach that play-in spot. I honestly, even the other teams like Atlanta that's on there, I think Boston's in there too as well, right? You have not Boston, I'm sorry, Brooklyn, Charlotte, Cleveland, and Atlanta. Those are the four teams in the play-in tournament. You know what? If there's only two teams, I can only see two teams that the Bulls can probably beat, and that's either Cleveland because they won the series against them, and maybe even Charlotte. And
but the thing is, they're not going to face them. They're going to be in the bottom with them, and that's the thing. So, like, yeah, of course they could beat the teams that are below them, but we know that's why they're below them. But the way it's looking right now, the Bulls aren't going to finish in the top five, or at least in the top four. They're not. So you gotta start thinking about who they're going to face between the four teams that we mentioned in the Boston Celtics, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Philadelphia 76ers, and the Miami Heat. And then even then, like, let's say even if they were in the top, like, you still have Brooklyn, who announced today that Ben Simmons isn't playing the rest of the regular season in the play-in tournament, but they didn't rule him out for the postseason. And we'll get into that too, because I have some comments for him for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I just got a quick update. As you guys see me I'm still paying attention to what Jose is saying, but I'm trying to get into my DraftKings because I've seen a really good bet that I kind of want to put in.
Oh my God.
Sprinkle a little $10 into it. That Kansas on the money line right now is plus 330. $10 will win me $43. at least it'll give me a little something, right?
You trying to bet? You're trying to bet the comeback.
Yeah, I'm betting the comeback. 20 gives me $86.
Okay, that sounds pretty
parlay
good.
it with something, What do you think? You go half and half?
Yeah, fuck it. Let's go. Let's do it. I'm down.
As you're listening to the Jca Sports Podcast Gambling Edition here.
No, it's not the gambling edition. But you know what? Let's get into the comments. As Joshua Vasquez is in the comments right now. Josh, thanks for listening, man. If the Bulls couldn't make the playoffs with Butler, Dwayne Wade, and Rondo together, what would make you think that they can make it now? Don't get me wrong. The Bulls have a decent squad, but not enough to make it to past the first round. So they made the playoffs. Yeah, they couldn't make it with Butler, D Wade, and Rondo because that team was old. That team was undisciplined, and
that team just sucked.
Yeah, they were coached by Fred Hoiberg, who wasn't the best coach. Someone who was supposed to replace Tibbs wasn't so hot. And then you had at the same time you had Gar Forman and John Paxson running the team and putting those pieces around them. Not guys you want to trust, at least not anymore, right? So they've made the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely.
But going past the first round, that's where we're kind of like, okay, you know, they're probably not going to make it, but that's to their own self-doing.
At least getting out of the first round, it's something that we didn't expect and really didn't see happening
before the season started.
Right. Even then, now after the season, after the injuries, I think I'm still in the same boat too as well. If they do get out of the first round, I think that's an improvement because they at least fought and grind and play their way out. Blasphemy, as I want to say this, and I'm taking Johnny Palaio's nickname here, Johnny Blasphemy, but blasphemy to say this, but
blasphemous.
Blasphemous. You're right. Thank you for me to say this, but I really do see, and call me what you want to call me, but even in the first round of the playoffs, whoever they face, I kind of see the Bulls getting swept. I really do see the Bulls getting swept to whoever they face, and at this point right now, it is against.
Why would you put that into the world, Eric?
Huh?
Why would you put that into the world? I would be upset, man.
I see what I see.
Look, I'm a basketball fan. I love watching basketball. Even if the Bulls didn't make the playoffs, I'll be all in for playoffs, right?
Right.
But our team's in.
All right, our team's in.
So you don't want to see them get swept.
No, I don't, but I kind of see it though. I really do see it in a way. You know, don't get me wrong. Carlitos Way says we need to get Lonzo Ball back when we then we'll be good.
Hey, that's the GOAT right there. Put some respect on the GOAT's name. That's Carlitos Way 2208. Shout out to my boy, the GOAT, Carlito.
I don't even with Ball, I don't think it's good enough to make us somewhat relevant in the playoffs too as well. To be honest, because look, if it ended today, right, and the seedings are today, they will have to face against Philadelphia 76ers, who, by the way, Joel Embiid is undefeated against the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah,
and in a series, I could actually see them getting swept.
If they went against the Philadelphia 76ers, even look again.
Look, you're right. There's a second team in here where I feel like the Bulls could probably beat too as well. And I think Deontay said it here. No, he just said the Celtics. I honestly do believe that they'll probably get one win from both Miami and Boston. But if it's Milwaukee or Philadelphia, I see the Bulls getting swept, and it won't be a competitive series other than the game that's going to be here in Chicago. Yikes. That's my prediction, and I really do see that because this Bulls team lacks something that I've been saying all year long. This team lacks size. This team lacks the depth and the aggression that the two bigs, the power forward and the center, supposed to have. Every good team supposed to have. You look at Milwaukee. Who do they have?
Oh, the best, the greatest of all time, Giannis.
In Philadelphia, who do they have?
The MVP, Joel.
Okay. In Boston, who do they have?
Yeah, Al Horford. He's a solid veteran.
And in Miami, who do they have?
That Bam.
Okay.
Adebayo.
I will pick any of those guys, obviously, over the guys that we have, Pat, Will, and Vucevic, and they will dominate in the interior rebounding wise. The Bulls lack the size, even lacking to get boards.
They got size. They like the toughness. They lack
everything, Jose.
They got size. Vucevic is a big guy. So is Trimson Thompson.
Yeah, but he doesn't use his size. It's not his game.
It's not, and that's what right.
We need those grinding. That's why I love the fact that Tristan Thompson was the guy that we got, and yet it never evolved the way it's supposed to be in.
Another thing they lack is defense, and that's why I think Carlitos is right. Is where they need Lonzo back because he is a great on the ball defender and someone who's definitely be a playmaker going forward. You know, pair him up right now. You're giving Alex Caruso, You're giving him too much. You're giving him too much to do right now. You know, him coming back, everybody thought they were going to be a lot better. He can't do it all. You know, he needs that backup, someone like Lonzo that can do it.
Okay, but superstar?
Right, but you talking about
you're quote unquote.
You're talking about Zach LaVine.
I'm talking about Zach LaVine.
Exactly. Well, look, that's the thing, right? And there's so many questions with the Bulls right now that hasn't been answered yet, right? How
I think
healthy
they've
is
all
that?
been answered.
How healthy is Zach LaVine?
Oh, he's not healthy at all.
Not healthy at
We
all,
all
right?
know that.
Right. So, how healthy is this team? Look, you started to see a little bit with Patrick Williams coming back that, okay, this team has something there. Bring back Lonzo, they have something there. Is it enough? No. I think they proved that. It's not enough. And that's where, like, and again, we're only saying that because you look at the other teams like the ones we mentioned already in 76ers and Miami and the Milwaukee Bucks. So we get it. We get it, right? And then we're not even talking about the Brooklyn Nets yet, who are we know are going to make it to the finals because they just have that much talent on their team. It's tough, Eric. It's tough. I agree with you that we're not going to make it out the first round. I wouldn't say we would get swept, but I wouldn't be surprised either.
There's a sweep.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
Deontay said they'll at least get one from against Miami and Philly. I don't think they'll get
No,
one from
I
Philly.
think the opposite. I think they'll get one from Milwaukee. I think Miami and Philly will sweep them. I think if there's one, I think they can get one game out of Milwaukee.
They'll
one
get
game.
one game out of Miami and Boston. They'll get swept by both Philly and
Really? Because they haven't beat Miami yet.
I'm saying,
And almost every game has been
I get that
a blowout,
but
one. I think one they lost by 3.
Okay, and I get that, but I feel like this Miami Heat team, like they'll probably squander that one game.
They
Like,
can. I guess you're right.
They don't give me that dominant presence like Milwaukee does, like Philadelphia.
Jimmy Butler isn't the same Jimmy
No,
Butler.
he's not.
He slowed down a bit, but he doesn't need to be that
He's
Jimmy
up there,
Butler.
Right, exactly. Right, and the team around them, but that team is not filled with like those players that like the Philadelphia and the Milwaukee's have, like those dominant players, and that's why I feel like Philadelphia and Milwaukee will sweep them. They'll get one from Miami and Boston for sure.
They can.
As we look back into the comments too, Carlitos Way says the ball screen is something we need to improve on when we are in defense. But that's the one thing though that takes that ball. The ball screen is basically the Bulls' Achilles heel, along with the team's blitzing DeMar DeRozan. And we've seen that a couple of times. Like, and if you've seen high school basketball, that's basically high school basketball defense. But it works. It's effective, and it's effective because now they're taking out the ball out of the best player's hand, DeMar DeRozan, and now you're making other people do something, right? Zach LaVine can only do so much. I think in one of the text messages last week. Who was it? You or John said that Zach LaVine already in the second quarter has 0 points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we can't have that heading into the second quarter that he has 0 points. You know, I as much as we can agree and we can say Lonzo Ball this, Lonzo Ball that, how much Lonzo really does bring to the table. Offensively, not that much, because outside of him being the basketball general, the floor general that he really is, he's not really going to give you the extra 15, 20, 25 points consistently. You know, and
no, he's not that guy. He's not that guy.
He's not that guy.
His game is more of a playmaker, a defender,
defensive side of the ball, right? But you could bring in that defensive structure as you can on your backcourt, but it's your front court that's still as vulnerable as it can be. Vooch is not that guy, and I said it, and you guys looked at me crazy. Saying that that we should actually trade Vooch away just for some size, and I'm still agreeing on that too as well. I think we should have, because it would have made this team a little bit more different in the interior wise than we were looking at today.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's going to be interesting to see what they can do going into the playoffs. It's just we're not as excited as we once were, but they're still going to be in the playoffs. So there's still going to be a lot of I guess there's going to be some excitement.
Right,
There is.
Look, we're seeing Bulls basketball in the playoffs, right? We're seeing we're not seeing it end early.
This is still a step up. This is still a step above when we were years prior.
You know, and you and John jumped on that championship bandwagon way too quick. I was very, very
we were excited.
You were excited.
This is our team.
It was, and you're absolutely right. I took a step back because it's just like I just didn't feel like it was that time. It was that team yet. And I hate to say I told you guys so.
Oh, shut up.
I told you guys.
You love to prove us wrong.
The Jca Sports Podcast here on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and all our social media platforms too as well. Find us there on Instagram and Twitter as well. Deontay goes on. I was about to click over here. Deontay goes on and saying he was shooting like 40% from 3 before he got hurt. The offense had a better flow and their perimeter defense was way better. Understandably so. You're absolutely right. And that's when Ball was in there, right? But again, consistently, he won't give us that offensive numbers night in and night out, right? And he's still not going to help interior-wise getting the rebounds and being that big presence inside. Sorry. I just that's just me personally. Like he doesn't help the Bulls heading into or getting into the next step, which is what the Eastern Conference Finals. The kind of where we kind of wanted them to be, even reaching the finals. Guys, if you guys want to talk to us too, I have the link right here on the chat too as well. If you guys want to join us, talk to us too. I already put it up. Wrong one. I meant to put it on here. Just join us, talk to us, see what you guys think. Let's talk sports with us and everything like that. Guys, Jose, you were talking about Ben Simmons, right?
Yes,
you were absolutely right.
But real quickly, guys, if you're confused as how to work, just click the link. It'll ask you to allow your microphone and your camera for StreamYard, and you'll pop up right on our screen. You'll be able to talk to us, ask questions, just be on live with us. You don't have to be on here for long.
Exactly.
But just have a conversation with us.
have a
We'll be on there.
conversation
It'll be fun. But yes, Ben Simmons was reported today to be out the rest of the regular season and the play-ins. Brooklyn's are going to be in the play-ins because they're 7th right now, 6th?
10th. They're the last. They get the last.
Wow, they dropped. I did not see that.
Yeah, they're in the last spot, but obviously they're in there. Everybody else is eliminated, so basically they're just playing for seeds. They're one game behind Atlanta, game and a half behind Cleveland with 4 games to go. So yeah, they could easily go up or drop, but yeah, go ahead.
So they're not going to have. So regardless of the fact, they're not going to have Ben Simmons for that, which is pretty, in my eyes, right? I think it's pretty discouraging. You're asking a lot for Ben Simmons if you are going to bring him to the playoffs. If they can make it through the play-in games, which we think they will, right? And then go on to the first round of the playoffs, they're going to face a formidable team like the ones we mentioned earlier. Can that be enough to win? Like, obviously you have someone like Kevin Durant, who's arguably one of the best players, or if not the best player in the league. You have someone like Kyrie Irving, who we know is a dog. Right. But you add Ben Simmons to that mix. What Ben Simmons are you going to get? Because you haven't seen Ben Simmons in how long already? You know what I mean? And that worries me if you're a Brooklyn fan, because it's like you're asking this guy for too much. Yeah. Like you and John and I think it was Corey, right? You guys were out here weeks ago talking about how he's probably the best defender, on guard defender with anybody. He could shut down DeMar DeRozan. Bro, he can't even get in the court. He can't even get on the court.
Yeah, his injury kind of slowed him down.
I don't know if it's his injury or if it's mental health. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's definitely trying to win some money against the Philadelphia 76ers, but he's still not playing. No. And then you expect him to come back to the playoffs, in which we seen last year when he was in the playoffs. What is he going to give you? He ain't going to give you points.
I'll definitely get. No, I mean,
he's not going to give you points, and then you're gonna ask him to guard guys like Jason Tatum, like James Harden, like Jimmy Butler. I'm sorry, I don't see it happening.
No, yeah,
shut him down. He's not going to give you jack. You know the rest. He's not
for sure.
Shut him down. Get him out of here.
Before I give you an answer, I'm gonna go right here with the answer on the comments. He says you have to look at the Lonzo injury like this. If you take the lead guard from any team in the league besides Memphis, the team will have struggles. And you're absolutely right. We'll
right, because then you have Lonzo and Alex Caruso when he gets a breather. So you're absolutely right.
Right, yeah, exactly. And then the question, we'll get to this one later, and that's a good question too, from Carlito's Way to 2208 on Twitch, saying, do you think the Lakers have a chance to get in the play-in tournament? Real quick before we answer that, my thing about the Boston, I'm gonna say Boston, Brooklyn Nets is this. Yes, you said we just need him for defensive purpose because he has everybody else around him, right? Right. He has the KD and the Kyrie Irving to help him out, right? But if you're talking about a back injury that kind of messed him up in a way that I don't know, neither physio, or I don't know what was translated between both Philadelphia and Brooklyn for him to be traded. His job was very, very simple, right? And I think him even capable of being that job is not even good enough anymore either. And that's the one thing about the Ben Simmons injury. His job was going to be simple in Brooklyn. Now it's going to be kind of impossible. Not impossible, but harder than it originally was.
It's stacked against him for sure.
It really is. But he can still do, I think, just enough. And that's the one thing about this kid on the defensive side of the ball, that he'll lock you down. He'll put in the clamps and everything like that. But it just seems it's gonna be a little bit more harder now, and everybody around them has to take the step up. Now look, at the moment, the worst that the Brooklyn Nets can get in is the 8th seed, right?
Right.
If they beat Cleveland at the moment, right? If they beat Cleveland, and if they beat whoever loses from that Atlanta Charlotte series, the worst they could probably get is the eighth seed if the season ends today. They'll face against.
So you said the best they can get is what?
The eighth. The best is the seventh.
Right. So the best is the seventh, and the worst is the eighth. Okay.
Matchup probability.
So they want to get to 7 because I think it's the same exact thing as I said earlier with the Bulls. They want to face the Celtics. If the Celtics are number 2, that's the team they could for sure get out of the first round with. All these other teams, I'm not saying they can't beat them. I'm just saying it's going to be a lot more harder.
No, I honestly feel like they'll have a more tougher time, to me, the opposite way. I honestly believe they'll have a tougher time with Boston with the athleticism that they have on that team, and having Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum playing at the level that they're playing right now. I think Boston will give them a more tougher time than Miami, because Miami has a lot more older players. They'll slow the game down. They'll work into their benefit a little bit more with Kyrie and Kevin Durant. Because the first team that honestly, the team that basically outshoots and outscores will basically win the game, right? Obviously, that's the NBA. But I think that, to me, that the Brooklyn Nets have a little bit more than the Miami Heat.
I think the Miami Heat are a defensive nightmare for the Brooklyn Nets.
I still don't believe.
I do.
I still don't believe that
Jimmy Butler is going to guard Kevin Durant.
He is, but that point guard matchup is my thing. I think Kyle Lowry here. Damn, we can't even speak today. Lowry, to me, is super slow.
Okay, Mike.
It's super slow to me. Kyrie Irving will have his day with him. It's not the same Lowry that we've seen in.
It's a better matchup for Kyrie. I get it.
And that's the difference maker right there. You could have that KD Jimmy Butler matchup as much as you want. KD will still be more superior over Jimmy Butler because he's 6'11" that can shoot from anywhere around the floor. Jimmy Butler can only do so much. But to me, I think a matchup of a team of a running gun like the Boston Celtics, how quickly they play, I think that's more of a dang, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Jesus, we can't even speak today, can we?
I get what you're trying to say. I get 100%. I think everybody at home is also they understand what you're trying to say. You're saying basically the Boston Celtics is a tougher matchup because it's a scoring game. It's gonna be a high scoring game, and you think the Celtics can at least match those points, right? Mm-hmm. Basically, I get what you're saying, but in the NBA playoffs, everything starts to slow down. So not even the Brooklyn Nets are going to be able to put up as much points as you see them putting up in the regular season, because that's when everything starts to slow down as it should. Games are going to be tougher. These teams are going to be tougher. And then you still have a rim protector in Bam Adebayo, who's also a great rebounder. And that's going to change. That's going to change.
Ball defender too.
Yes, and that's going to change the aspect in that game. The reason why I think the Celtics are a better matchup is because they don't have that same presence down low. Al Horford isn't this, he isn't a spring chicken like he used to be. You know what I mean? And so I get what you're saying, but the thing about those type of teams that are running gun shooting, when they have off nights, it's over.
Oh, it definitely is. But the disadvantage that the Brooklyn Nets have over the Boston Celtics is that I believe that the running gun, or at least the athleticism of the Boston Celtics, will give the Brooklyn Nets.
That's only if they're making shots, though, Eric. And again, and in the playoffs, defense is key, which is why I'm saying
they have enough. Boston has enough on the defensive end.
Going into Carlito's question right now, and that was actually going to be next in the topic. Can the Lakers have a chance of getting in the tournament? Of course, they have a chance. When you have guys like LeBron James and Anthony Davis, you have a chance. Do we think it's going to happen? It doesn't look too good. It doesn't look good at all. Now, LeBron James is LeBron James. I would never put anything past LeBron James. As unpopular as this opinion is, I still think he's the second greatest of all time. I said this earlier in previous podcasts, and I'm not going to go back on it. I think he's the second greatest of all time. I don't see him just folding here. The Lakers are trash. Don't get me wrong. They are not going to win the championship. If they do make it into the playoffs or even the play-ins, I don't think they're going to make it out. But that being said, I do give him enough credit because he is so good, and he has been so good throughout his whole career to at least get him into the play-ins. But if they don't do it, it's a travesty. You're the Los Angeles Lakers. You have someone like LeBron James on your team. You have someone like Anthony Davis. And Russell Westbrook was supposed to be you're one of these great players that you brought in, LeBron. You literally went away from getting someone like DeMar DeRozan to bring in someone like Russell Westbrook. You literally had Caruso gone, so you could bring in someone like Russell Westbrook, and you see it in it. You're seeing it bite him in the ass. And now here you are. You made your bed. You got to lay in it, and this is where you're at. This is where the Lakers are at. It's so disappointing that they're here. But to answer his question, I do think they have a chance for sure. But what are they going to do with that chance? Absolutely nothing.
I love it how the script has flipped. That everybody, you know how even they say even with a 500 record, you'll get into the NBA, you'll get into the playoffs in the East, right? The script has flipped that there's only one team, possibly two teams, that will be in the playoffs in the West with the losing record.
It's crazy.
I love it how that script flipped.
It really did, but you know why that was, right? Because for so long the West was so good. The East, had the bottom of the barrel teams, and what happened through the draft, through free agency, they started getting better and better and better. Now you're starting to see a paradigm shift. Now that the West is starting to fall into that category, but they still have quality players and quality teams over there, man.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right on that part. But to answer the question, hell no.
No,
this Laker team just looks horrible, bro. It just feels like we are lucky enough to have this opportunity to have this play-in tournament simply because of last year, right? We were lucky to see LeBron and Steph Curry, right? We were lucky enough to see that, and that was an entertaining series or entertaining game, playoff game, right? Now I feel like it's now diluting it simply because we're gonna have teams with this type of record. We're gonna have, the Clippers could still possibly be over 500 heading into the playoffs as the 8th seed, right? But you have the New Orleans Pelicans who are 34-44, and the San Antonio Spurs who are 33-45. Plus, the team that still has a chance in the Los Angeles Lakers is 31-47. With 4 games left, the Lakers are 2 games back. Do they have a chance? Hell no.
Yes, they do. Eric,
mathematically.
This is coming from a guy. This is coming from a guy who said the Bears had a chance in the playoffs the year they lost to the Saints.
Yeah, look, different aspect.
No, it's not.
They
were trashed just as much as the Lakers are now.
Right. You're absolutely right on that part. I'll give you that part, right? But this team was as horrible as that Bears team. But you're telling me that in a series, the Los Angeles Lakers, let's say if they do make it on the last spot, right? Do they have enough to beat the Minnesota Timberwolves the way that they're playing?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
No, but his question was, do they have a chance to even make the play-in tournament?
I don't think so.
I think they do.
4 games left.
Look, again, LeBron, we've seen him do it in the past. He could take over games. That's the only reason why I'm saying the Lakers have a shot. It's because of LeBron James.
LeBron, man. I'm sorry, but this team that he structured around him, it still hurts him a lot because he doesn't have another player to rely on anymore, bro. If you're talking about a LeBron James to carry this team, you're talking about a 30, whatever old he is, LeBron James to carry this team. It's not going to happen. Not in a team that has the Phoenix Suns, the Memphis Grizzlies, the Golden State Warriors.
No. I'm not saying he's going to get past the playoffs.
Even so, man.
He's not going to get out the play-ins, okay?
I still think he has a chance to get into the play-in.
He's going to get in the play-ins. He just won't. They just won't get out.
If not, the NBA is rigged.
No, it's not.
On the comments, Mario says, even if the Lakers make it into
what up, Duff, man?
They won't survive. This Lakers squad this year is just so out of rhythm. I don't even think it's that. I think they're just poorly constructed.
Who are you talking about? The Lakers? I don't see them succeeding. I called it from the beginning of the season, and look where they're at now. The West is tough, and the Lakers are not even this year. First off, Duff, man, welcome back from an amazing WrestleMania weekend. I heard you went. Make sure to tune in Wednesday when we go to the Sports Drip Live podcast with my brother and I. We'll talk wrestling. We would love to hear how it all went. But yeah, man, for sure. I look, I get it. He did say it. Duffman did call it from the beginning of the season that they're not gonna make it in. The West is tough. The West is tough, but they're weaker than they were before in prior years. The Lakers are just, again, they're a bad team. No one's giving them any type of credit. But again, I want to give them. I definitely want to just give LeBron some credit. Yeah.
Deontay, right there. Hell no, the AARP Lakers are cooked. Jca Murray has a bad cold that's keeping them out, and the Lakers still won't catch them. Exactly.
But the Jca Murray and the Spurs, man. Coach Popovich, this is why he's one of the greatest head coaches of all time. The fact that they don't have the players that they once had, like Tim Duncan, Ginobili, Parker, Kawhi Leonard's gone, right? But yet they the way they draft and the way to develop they're always going to be in the mix, man. And
You're right.
no one gives the Spurs a chance this season. I get it, and for good reason, right? They're not as good as they were previous years, but the fact that they have a young up and coming team is just you got to give credit to that organization and to that head coach, man. They're amazing.
If you want to talk about a team that I won't count out, that's one.
Yeah,
I would put the Spurs over the Lakers right now, to be honest with you. And that's the team.
Well, obviously that yes.
No, even today, right?
I got a better question for you. Who comes out who do you give more of a chance to come out the first round? The Spurs or the Bulls? See, I stumped them. You guys can answer that question though on live. Who do you think has a better chance of getting out the first round? The San Antonio Spurs or the Chicago Bulls?
Can I call it even? Like they both won't make it.
I think the Bulls. I give the Bulls the edge. Not knocking the Spurs. I think the Spurs have a better coach. I'm not saying something. I think the Spurs have a great star in DeJounte Murray. I just think the Bulls have an overall better team.
Obviously the eighth seed is where it's at for the San Antonio Spurs. No matter what, if they win, if they win,
someone put neither. Is that what it says?
Neither. LOL. Deontay say neither, and I agree with.
Come on, dude.
Neither for real. Neither do because the Spurs will probably have to face. They'll probably have to face the Phoenix Suns at this 10th seed because if they win,
I get it. I'm just saying,
neither. And then wherever the Bulls have,
the Bulls can if they face someone like the Boston Celtics.
I don't think
you heard it here first.
He's to be honest. Josh says, "What up, Josh?" Josh says, "To be honest, the Spurs, Josh? I wouldn't be surprised." No, because that West, the top 6 on the West is just super stacked, man. And they're gonna face the Phoenix Suns in the first round if the Spurs come out of it. Neither. That's my question. Who's the
5th seed in the East right now?
The 5th seed in the East are your beloved Bulls.
Oh, they're 5th right now.
They're 5th right now.
And they'll keep the 5th spot.
That's Philadelphia for you, homie. If the rank stays, that's Philadelphia. They're only a half game behind Boston for the 2nd seed, and they're tied with Milwaukee, just better win percentage or better. What you call it?
Well, Milwaukee, they swept them, so they have the head-to-head.
The head-to-head. There you go. Thank you. I don't know. Deontay goes on the comments too as well, but a better chance is the Bulls. The Spurs will have way tough. Yeah, that's true. That's what you just said. Yeah, you're right. If to answer your question, the Bulls have a better shot, but neither really do. Technically, neither really do.
It's gonna be exciting. How about this? That's because this is supposed to be early predictions, and then I'm gonna cut you off. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Let's give our early predictions now. We'll probably do this again right after the playoffs are set. But who do you think is more likely to come out the East and the West? You could change this later after everything is set, looking at the matchups, but this is just, raw dogging it right now, pretty much, okay?
Raw dogging it. Out of the West, slightly, Golden State Warriors.
Really?
Out of the East, the East is wide open as possibly can, man. That's the one that's really getting into me because everything's so wide open. I want to say Philadelphia, but they got James Harden. I want to say Milwaukee, but I don't think they have that same magic that they did last year, winning it all. But I want to go to my early prediction and not change it, and that's the Brooklyn Nets. Okay,
so you got Brooklyn coming out the East and Golden State in the West.
Yep.
That's basically what I think a lot of people thought in the beginning of the season was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad the Brooklyn Nets are starting to fall down a bit. I really don't want to see them. And look, you can say I'm a Kevin Durant hater. You can say I'm a Kevin Durant hater, and it might just be because I do not want to see this man win another championship because I think he does it in the sleaziest way of all time. Like I just can't stand Kevin Durant. And I don't know. I don't have much respect.
If Kevin Durant wins the NBA title this year, he surpasses Giannis as the best.
No, he does not. Mm-hmm. Eric, don't go there. Eric, do not go there. How?
I knew I should have bet it.
How?
I knew I should have put in the bet. I really didn't do it. Deontay.
You didn't put the bet in?
I didn't put the bet in.
We literally fist pumped.
I know. I
oh,
I couldn't let me.
You had one job.
Hey, man, something wrong with my login. I don't know what it was. I tried to log in, tried to put in the bet. It didn't let me. Sorry. And I should have. I should have, but it didn't let me. Technically, I did, but it didn't let me. How about that one? I promise you.
Anyways, going back to the outrageous comment you just said, if Kevin Durant wins the championship this year, no, he does not surpass Giannis.
He does.
No.
He surpasses Giannis to the point where he reaches LeBron James if he wins the title this year.
In what? In all time?
As the second greatest player of all time.
No, he does not. That is the biggest cap of a take I've ever heard in my damn life.
Because if you really look at it, in this big picture type of thing, the two NBA trips that, well, the two NBA finals that Kevin Durant won, he was MVP for both, wasn't he? So let's just put it like this: if Kevin Durant wins the NBA finals and becomes the MVP, although he missed one, the three that he's won, 3 finals MVP. He would definitely surpass Giannis Antetokounmpo as the second best player.
Although Kevin Durant
and he's gonna be doing this to LeBron James as the second greatest behind him.
Although Kevin Durant was, you're right. Someone we have someone Deontay. Is that him, right?
No, this one is Duff, man.
No, ready to join.
Oh, hey, Uncle Day Day, what's up, man? Hey, we got Deontay up in here. Hold on, let me take this. Sorry, Duff, man. Deontay, what's up, homie?
Yo, what's going on?
Day Day, favorite uncle from a lot better than me, man.
What's going on? It's your boy Uncle Day Day, Chicago favorite uncle, tuning in with y'all.
Yes, sir. Yo, what up, Theo?
What up, Theo? For sure. Hey, man, Deontay, what's up, man? What you got for us?
Man, I had to jump in listening to y'all with the super early predictions because I'm actually editing one of my episodes about that same exact topic. I got Golden State coming out the West. It's gonna be tough with Phoenix because Steph got to come back looking like he got something. Clay getting his rhythm back. And Draymond just got to do what Draymond do. So I got them beating Phoenix in 6 to get to the finals. And in the East, Milwaukee smoking everybody right now.
Yes. Tell him.
Milwaukee smoking. Giannis is on a mission. Chris Middleton, he's solid. Drew Holiday, solid.
Yep.
And they got Bobby Portis. He played out of his mind this season with Lopez being out. And Lopez back now. Serge Ibaka gonna be big time for him when it come to actually dealing with the 76ers.
Let him know.
So I got Milwaukee. They smoking everybody.
Deontay, you and I both have the exact same teams coming out. I also have Milwaukee and Golden State. A lot of people, Deontay, think that Milwaukee was a one and done. They thought it was a fluke. Him and John both said they would not make it back to the finals.
I still believe.
But they just don't know what's going on over there, man. Like Giannis is legit. He is legit.
Definitely.
And he's not.
Right, but you're over here saying, "Oh, Kevin Durant's gonna come back. He's gonna be the second best." Come on, man.
That's
the Brooklyn Nets. They're not even that good now.
That's if they take it all the way. They go all the way. They win it. Kevin Durant beats his old team.
Deontay, can I ask you a question real quick?
What's up, brother?
Between Durant and Giannis, who's better in your eyes?
Oh, Giannis over the summer, he worked on that jump shot, man. He stretched it to a little bit beyond the free throw line. He got the turnaround working. So Durant got to watch his back. I mean, Giannis the total package. He played both ends. He rebound. He passed the ball.
And he's healthy.
He stay healthy. That's true. The best ability is availability. So that's definitely true. He stays healthy. So I mean, I love Kevin Durant. I think Kevin Durant is probably the best offensive player to play as far as to all 3 levels on that side of the ball. But what Giannis do on defense, I think that kind of bridges the gap that KD got over him offensively.
So in other words, he says KD over.
Well, and you got to give it to KD right now.
Right now, yes.
Yeah, right now.
But Giannis on his heels. Giannis is definitely on his heels.
He's right there.
I'm telling you right now, if my predictions come into fruition, I'm telling you guys right now.
Fruition?
If it happens, Kevin Durant is going to touch LeBron James like, hey, I'm right here as the second greatest of all time.
The only reason why I don't get Kevin Durant his props like these guys do is because I felt like he had to join a super team to win his rings. He had to go to Golden State, or he had an amazing team around him to be the MVP. Yes, okay, great. He was the greatest out of all of them in one team. But Steph Curry only averaged like a point or two less than him in the playoffs. So it's like, come on, you know what I mean? Like, look, They lost to Golden State when he was in Oklahoma City. He couldn't do it by himself. He couldn't do it with Westbrook or Harden. He had to join them and then to win his 2 rings. And then what happens? Goes to Brooklyn to create another super team that just failed. Right? They got rid of Harden. It didn't work out for him either. I don't see it happening, man. He's not like my boy Giannis, who stays loyal to one team and one team and no superstars around him. You know what I mean?
Uncle Day, I know you had something to tell him. Tell him.
Hey man, look, that KD move to Golden State, that was like a match made in heaven, because the Warriors either was gonna pay Harrison Barnes or Kevin Durant. And you can't look nobody in the face and say they would have took Harrison Barnes over Kevin Durant.
Oh, hey, exactly.
And KD wasn't winning with Russ. I respect Russ' game, but I don't respect Russ having a talent, like an actual, not a talent, rather a skill set.
Right.
And he is all motor and heart. And when you got Kevin Durant being the best scorer in the league and you shooting more shots a night than him, it's a problem. So it wasn't going to work with Russ. One of them had to go. Golden State threw the money. Kevin Durant saw opportunity for the rings, and then he just bust LeBron head in the finals for 2 years.
Right.
And was the best player overall in those.
No,
two
come on,
trips.
man.
No.
Look, think about this.
man.
Think about this. Look, but think
MVP
about
for no
this.
reason.
Steph Curry is such a great player. He deferred to someone like Kevin Durant. It's not like he couldn't get his, and he was getting his. I'm telling you, he was only averaging 1 or 2 points less in those playoffs, but he deferred to Kevin Durant. You know what? That he's a better matchup. There you go. Take it. Otherwise, I guarantee you, if he would have kept the ball, he still would have scored, and he would have been the MVP.
I'll tell you this: if Kevin Durant didn't blow his Achilles, you seen how deadly
Oh,
those first 11
All these what ifs, bro. All these what ifs. Woulda, coulda, woulda, shoulda, man. If they broke in we would have had a championship here in Chicago. Come on, man.
Hey, Eric, the best ability is availability, my brother.
No, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. But those 11-minute stretch that once he came back after that so-called calf injury before he tore his Achilles, man, that changed the whole atmosphere and that whole series. The moment he came back in, and you could tell right away he was shooting the ball, it would just look like the Golden State Warriors are gonna mount this comeback, and bam, his Achilles went, and that series was over. Right?
Yeah, Deontay, what's the podcast? What's the episode that you're talking about? Like, plug your stuff, bro, because I definitely want to tune in.
Oh yeah, I'm Better Than Leftovers. That's my podcast. I'm up and coming with it, so I'm recording my episodes now so that I can get them up on my stream. I'm getting my YouTube channel together so I can have everything loaded up. Once I get it going, when I got episodes to drop weekly until I can start doing them live, I definitely let Eric know. But Better Than Leftovers, this your host right here, Chicago favorite uncle, the point guard of that show.
Yes, sir. Definitely be tuning in, bro. I really appreciate that.
Definitely. I appreciate y'all too. I'm gonna get up out of here, let y'all have y'all show back, y'all spotlight. Appreciate y'all.
You're welcome anytime.
It's more for you than it is for us, man.
You're welcome anytime you want, bro, for sure.
Definitely, I appreciate it.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Y'all.
All right, that was Uncle Day. That was Deontay right here, who's on the comments strong, and yes, he's always welcome, man. Let's go into the comments. As Duffman over here says, the Bulls have a way better shot. That's obviously between the Spurs and the Bulls. Guaranteed shot. This team is stacked. They're loosening it back up to where they can contend. Starting lineup is good. The bench is good, and we have a good chance of getting ball back maybe for the second round. Plus, Levine is playing for a contract. So, he's going to turn around in the playoffs, man.
I hope so. I hope so.
You know what, man? Look, that's the one thing that I don't want to happen. Look, y'all can talk about bags, contracts, guaranteed about Zach LaVine and everything you want and all this. That's sounding like Mario sounding like a true Bulls fans right there. I just don't see it, man. I don't think Zach LaVine is even worth the max contract. I don't. I really, really don't. For a guy who is a great offensive player, but it's not really that consistent. Like, is that game-changing player to deserve that max contract? That's not Zach LaVine. I don't see it. I don't see it.
I do. And
if that does happen,
he's having an unlucky season with injuries. But unlucky. He did look when healthy. This guy has gotten better every single season. You've seen that in the beginning of the season when he was fully healthy. This team was legit. It's not a coincidence that after he had that injury in Golden State, that the team started to decline. It's not. It really isn't.
Mario also says that it's going to be the Bucks and the Warriors for the NBA Finals.
3 for 3, baby.
Josh says Phoenix and Bucks. So that's last year's finals.
That 4 for 4. We win these.
Mario Duffman has a little bit too much beer. He says Durant's a bum. He's not successful at his own. He joined a successful Warriors team that we're winning and gonna win without him anyways. That's not true. Not
Facts.
necessarily true.
Big
He's just
facts,
wanted to win
Mario.
the easy way. Now he's trying. I mean, isn't that LeBron James too? Him going to Miami, but we don't talk about that, right? Because people.
What do
don't
you?
want him.
Yeah, but then what do you do? What do you do
The super
afterwards?
team in
What do you do
Brooklyn,
afterwards?
He's gonna bust. Watch.
LeBron did
When he
what
left
Kevin
OKC,
Durant couldn't and win a
he
championship with
busts.
Kyrie. Guaranteed.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, that's it. Look, whatever. I still believe, and I'm telling you this right now, that whether it was Kevin Durant, the Warriors needed Kevin Durant to actually win those titles. That first year together,
Eric, they
got
won
to-
without
I understand
him.
that, but it wasn't the same team. You got to be different. You got to change.
No, they would. Eric, without Kevin Durant, they still would have made it to the finals. They still would have probably won one. With Kevin Durant, yes, they won two, but you're supposed to when you have 4 All-Stars, when you have 3 superstars.
Kevin Durant.
Okay, but think about this: 2 superstars, a half a superstar in Klay Thompson, and an All-Star in Draymond Green. You literally had 4 stars on your team. You're supposed to win 2 championships.
Disrespect on Klay Thompson saying half a star.
He is a half a superstar. I said half a superstar. He's a star. I said half a superstar.
Half a superstar. The disrespect.
Come on.
The disrespect.
He's not. Is he on Steph Curry's level? A superstar? Yes or no?
He could shoot
Yes
his way
or
into
no?
it. I think so.
Really?
I think
That's
so.
wrong. That's not right.
The
And
disrespect.
the superstars on that team were Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. This is why, guys, you see what this guy's saying. This is why you discredit everything else he says about Kevin Durant being an
Disrespect
MVP.
to Klay Thompson.
Come on, man.
A healthy Klay Thompson. The disrespect.
The healthy Klay Thompson is a
Disrespectful.
star, but not a superstar.
Disrespectful. That's very disrespectful. Klay Thompson.
It's not.
Disrespect.
I think that's legit. I think that's legit. He is a star. That's it. Now, I'm not saying he can't develop into a superstar. He has to be a superstar. You got to be in the MVP conversation. You got to lead a team to the playoffs and possibly to a championship. Kevin Durant was the best player on the Oklahoma City team with Russell Westbrook and James Harden. There's no denying that. He's a superstar, right? That being said, you said he was the best player on that Golden State team. I beg to differ. Steph Curry was right there on his heels, and I honestly think that Steph Curry deferred to Kevin Durant so Kevin Durant can get his stuff. I mean, it makes sense. Ooh, who we got?
Oh, Weezy!
Hey, Rick. Oh, shit. All right. First cops now this.
Let's read the Duffman real quick.
Comment real quick with Duffman. Zach LaVine. I hope there's but Zach will get a guarantee. We'll get the contract because realistically, the Bulls team has been built around him. It's been around since he joined the team, and look where they are now.
Sign him
and keep building.
Yes.
If you sign him to the max contract, what are you gonna get with the salary cap?
After this season, he's able to focus on his knee, get fully healthy, and then you're gonna get the Zach LaVine that you've been getting these last few years. The Zach LaVine who's only improving with this team around him to be a healthy team and maybe possibly become a superstar.
Bulls will be in basketball hell if they do. What up, Weezy? What you got?
What up? First cops now this. Oh man, feels good to join you guys, man.
What's up,
man? Welcome to the show.
All right, so
hey, look, all I'm missing is one more Vasquez brother, and I had all 3 of them in the show.
You got the Infinity
That's
Stones,
it.
huh?
I had
let's go.
And if I get Andy, on here too, man, trust me, I feel like that.
Oh man. Oh.
What you got, Weeziness?
All right, so we're talking about KD or what?
Hey, what you say?
Yes.
What do you think? Is Kevin Durant?
Oh man. I mean, all right, he's I'm not saying he's a superstar. Contreras is right. Jose, you're right, bro. He I'm gonna have to say it, but man, the Golden State Warriors would have won that with or without Kevin Durant.
Big facts.
I mean, not OKC. I mean, okay, he had to leave OKC because I know he wasn't gonna go anywhere with Westbrook.
Agreed.
And he got Serge Ibaka there, and Harden.
Yeah.
He wasn't gonna go anywhere with them.
Right.
He had to leave.
Yep.
But I mean, had he not joined the Golden State Warriors, they could have still won a ring without him or not.
Yeah, if he had not won to the Golden State Warriors, he would not have no championships right now.
Oh yeah,
be honest, no championships.
Definitely agree, Eric. I love you.
I disagree. If he went to the Golden State Warriors, even though he went to the finals, I think they still wouldn't have won because they still would have had that collision course with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I think LeBron his numbers would have probably been more stacked up with the rings than the one that he got. He would have gotten more in Cleveland.
They would have split.
I don't think they would.
I'll give Kevin Durant that. He he helped Golden State win both, but they would have won a championship even without him because they've done it before. The team didn't really drastically change, and Steph Curry was their MVP. He was their superstar. You know what? Like again, look at the stats. I know the game. I know the actual game says one thing, but if you look at the stats, he wasn't that far off. It's not like Kevin Durant was. There was a huge disparity. Steph Curry literally was only averaging 1 or 2 points less from him. It was, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Take over like you said it. Game said one, stats said another. Kevin Durant literally took that Golden State Warriors team on his back, whether you agree with it or not.
He did not carry. You cannot say he carried on his back. No. Well, LeBron did in Cleveland, taking that team to the playoffs. Yeah, when Kyrie was healthy, Kyrie helped a lot. But during the regular season, he wasn't. LeBron carried that Cleveland team to the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
LeBron would never got his ring. I love this one too. Nobody's gonna win. Love it. Say it, Duff. Say it with your chest. Nobody's gonna win anyway with Westbrook. Look at the Lakers.
Right. That's true.
Westbrook. I'm sorry, man.
Right. Weezy's 100% right. Kevin Durant had to leave Oklahoma City. Nobody is disputing that he had to leave Oklahoma City. What my thing is, you literally went to the team that bounced you out the first round. You're literally the epitome of the saying, if you can't beat them, join them. That's exactly what he did.
That's what he did, yeah.
That's fine. But by joining them, he also carried them.
No, he did not carry them, bro.
Yes, he did. I don't care what anybody says. He did not carry that team that you said that's full of stars that needed Kevin
You're
Durant.
making us look bad. I'm carrying you right now with this conversation.
Really.
No, you cannot say that.
I carry myself. Look at this big ass dude that I'm right here. I carry myself. Look, I already got a nacho stain right here, bro. Dang, I didn't. Weezy, it was good to see you. You all good?
Man, it feels good to be on here, man, live with you guys.
Join us a lot more often. Love it how you're in the chat. Join us here. You know, you're always welcome, man.
Wait, hold on, Weezy. Who comes out? Who comes out the East and the West?
You already said it.
Oh, did he?
The East. All right. So you want let me make some modifications right there.
Oh my!
Okay.
I just say, you know what? All right, fine, deal. I think it is gonna be Phoenix. But who did I say? The Bucks, right?
The rematch of last year.
You know what? Yeah, I'm stick with it.
Hey, Phoenix is a good
round
team.
2.
It's a great team.
Phoenix and Bucks.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I think the Phoenix can do it. I think the Phoenix can do it too.
It's gonna be that East. I'm sorry, but I mean, the way Giannis has been playing,
I'm telling you,
it's.
Look, I'll gladly say I'm a fanboy, and for good reason. I love Giannis. He's a great guy, great player.
Anybody around that?
Yeah.
Like you were LeBron James 10 years ago.
I was
man.
not.
Yeah,
I was never a LeBron fanboy. No, he does not.
A lot at
Look,
Van
hey, look, no. I would love a LeBron Heat jersey, low key, but no, I don't have one.
Weezy, I love you, bro.
Oh man, thank you guys for having me here, man.
Thank you for jumping on. You can always join us whatever you're in the comments are here, man. You already know what to do.
Always. Take care, guys.
Thanks,
all right, brother.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Duffman, what do you got? He said the only thing Westbrook is going to win is a fashion contest. And even that.
Not even that.
Right?
Not even that.
He joins the Met Gala, probably, because obviously
the Met Gala.
That's what it said, Met Gala.
You said Matt.
Oh, Met Gala, whatever.
You said Matt. It's Met.
Met.
Like in New York Met.
Whatever. The Met Gala, that's probably the only
Met
thing
Gala.
You probably wouldn't even win that one either.
No. He does not win a fashion contest. I question life. If that's fashion nowadays, I question fashion.
Russell Westbrook or Cam Newton?
In fashion?
Yeah.
Oh, Cam Newton all day. Cam Newton got swag. He got swag.
He got swag and a half.
Now he looks like he has old man swag, but I could dig it though. That's like, I could do it.
Sometimes that's the part of growing
that
up,
fedora that he be wearing.
I don't mess with a fedora. You know what? Nah, my cheeks are too fat for a fedora.
Right, but you could just lose weight.
I really can. I think we should have a JCA workout.
We should have a JCA weight loss contest between you and I. John could initiate it. Yeah,
I'm down. Loser what?
Give weekly updates. Loser has to do something during our JCA fantasy football draft. Something dumb.
There you go, Doug. That's what I meant at the Met Gala.
That's what I meant at the Met Gala. Okay. Yeah, I'm down.
Cool.
Yeah,
see it live. I bet. All right, man. It was a fun show. It was a great show.
Great show.
Thank you to Duff, man. Duffman should definitely be on the Sports Drip Live, where we talk about all WrestleMania. I'm gonna be on it too.
We're talking about UFC too. Let's not sleep on UFC, man. Too much going on.
It was a lot. I'll definitely be on there too.
WrestleMania was fun though, wasn't it?
It was great.
It was so good.
Hey, give it 5 minutes.
Huh?
Give it 5 minutes.
You want to talk about WrestleMania? Come on the podcast. Come on the podcast. Come on the podcast.
Sports Drip Live. It'll be on
Wednesday. Wednesday will be on at 8.
Wednesday at 8, we'll be live. I'll be on there as a special guest. The Contreras brothers have the WrestleMania, UFC, MMA, all that good stuff to talk about. Don't forget the EAFP podcast that day too as well. We're back on again, hopefully with John with us too. The JCA.
Hey, shout out to John. He's on a little date right now with his
go.
boo thing. Hey,
we'll be on Wednesday.
Happy birthday, BB.
There you go. See, he'll be on it. He'll talk about WrestleMania experience.
Okay.
That's what Duffman says. So we get a link with Duffman. He could be the special guest too as well. We could talk about WrestleMania. It was fun. It was fun to watch. If you guys watched it, so it'll be a good show too as well. A lot that. So Duffman, Deontay and Josh for jumping on and being on the podcast too on the stream. Carlito's Way. Thank you very much for watching on Twitch, guys. Make sure you guys follow the JCA Sports podcast.
Yes.
On Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Twitch,
on Instagram. Yes.
All of it, TikTok, all that too as well. And every time we have our show, guys, make sure you share it on your page too as well. We bring all the love. We appreciate you guys for jumping on for watching us too as well. We'll share the love back too.
Hey, I don't think these people see the new intro. Put the new intro on real quick.
Oh yeah, we do got a new intro.
Hey, peep this, guys. We worked hard on this.
We want to see what you guys think about this.
Let us know what you think about this intro real quick.
Eric, when you win that JCA live bet, can I have $1? I got you, homie. I got you more than $1 for sure, Uncle.
No, he didn't put the bet in. You talking about the Kansas one?
Oh, you talking about the Kansas? No, I didn't put that bet in, bro.
He didn't put it
in. I didn't put that one in.
Right?
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about that like the losing weight one. It couldn't let. For some reason, I was into the school Wi-Fi and it wouldn't let me because it was gambling. So yeah, no, I apologize for that. For real, let me see the score real quick.
One job, bro.
One job.
Well, are you doing that? I'll put the intro.
One job.
Let me know what y'all think of this intro.
63 Kansas, 59 UNC. Yeah, I know I should have. But real quick, guys, thank you for joining us. We're gonna play the intro and then the outro right afterwards. That way, you guys see what we had working on for you guys. Everything better. For myself, Eric Avila, Jose Contreras. Thank you, everybody. Duffman, Deontay, Josh, everybody that joined us, everybody that watched us. Tune in Wednesday. Shout
out to the family.
6 o'clock, the EAFB podcast. 8 o'clock, Sports Strip Live. And then the JCA will be on right after that on Wednesday. Wednesday is stacked, so don't miss out. As for Eric, Jose, thank you, everybody. We love y'all. Peace. We'll see y'all on Wednesday. Check out the intro and the outro for the show.
You're now listening to the Jca Sports podcast on Spotify and Anchor.
Freaking believable. What a way for a ball game to end.
Oh, that's what happened. Oh, that's terrible. My God. The humanity.
They may be the drunkest couple in the history of sporting events.
I loved his face.
I would suspect that fan is done for the night. Here's the thing. When you steal something, don't wear it.